Once again, everybody, welcome back to the place where the party truly never starts. This is Grumpy Old Guy. Let's do some gaming. Maybe a bit more back to the monotone side of things than normal. Just a bit of a personal note. Poor wifey's been sick all day, sort of a nasty thing. All sorts of stuff flying about. Starting to feel better, well on the mend, but it has been a tiring day of keeping up for me, and since I'm still up here in the late night hours, thought I'd give the evening recording a try. We are in the fourth upload, I believe, of something that I am jokingly calling D&D and DQ2, because it flows a bit better than Dragon Quest 2 and TTRPG talk. This is where we're playing some Dragon Quest 2, just sort of going through, very casual, and trying not to die, because if you've never played this game before, they are downright mean to you when you die. I'm sure we'll get there at some point. And I'm going over my tabletop role-playing game campaign setting. It's being played in Shadowdark, the RPG system, but not necessarily all of it's been designed with that. And I've certainly not been averse to system changes in campaign before. I've always wanted to run a multi-generational D&D game through the different editions, where each edition swap would be a different character generation as well. Don't know if I'm ever going to run that one. But to design this new campaign world, I was doing a lot of solo RPG stuff, and the Arcane Library now has a rough test PDF out of what Kelsey, the creator, is calling Solo Dark. It's a solo engine / oracle for solo play. That was not yet a thing. I was playing off the quick start rules cobbled together with a couple different reference tables that I was able to find. Just yes-no oracles and random die roll charts. I was using the first volume of the Mythmir's Tome of Adventure Design, the AD&D DM's Guide, and the Dungeon Master's Guide from the Basic D&D Red Box, as well as Cairn. I played quite a bit of the Overland exploration that inspired this world, just straight up Cairn, with occasionally dipping into like different monster manuals and whatnot for inspiration. Picked up a treasure chest here. So that is a brief overview of the campaign world. In Dragon Quest II, our character Agog has met up with the Prince of Canic Castle, our cousin Orfeo, who is a skilled battle mage and is really helping us out quite a bit. We've been leveling ourselves and them, and managed to get the silver key, which has been helping us out big time, getting us into places. We actually won a prize in the lottery as well. Not a major prize, but the lottery system in this game is a pretty bold-faced pet peeve of mine. Every time I get a lottery ticket, I kind of just want to throw it away, honestly, because I hate playing that game. But then I get the occasional win, and I'm like, well, it's not that bad. We've done a little bit of leveling. I don't think we're quite ready to head down and start going for the third member of our party. We're probably close. But I kind of feel like we want Orfeo to at least level 8. Just for the heck of it, let's see if we can This monolith right here is the point we want to head down. And we're going to talk to this guy here. He's going to be like, "Hast thy travels taken thee to the monolith south of Middenhall?" They hasn't. So we'll say no. And he goes, "My brother must be there now. Wilt thou not go to him?" I guess we can just take a detour and go south of Middenhall and talk to this dude's brother. They're sending us through. By the way, for the longest time I always thought those blocks there were just impassable or got unlocked at another point. No, that's just floor tiles. This will be unlocked later when we get the gold key. But since the dude asked us to check on his brother, I suppose I would be remiss if we didn't go south of Middenhall Castle and check out the monolith there. Alleviates a bit of a fear of mine. I was kind of worried about taking that risk and just diving down south and seeing if we were tough enough. But, we could pick up some extra XP on the way. Also, it allows me to switch topics of conversation yet again. Last time through, we went over the first session of gameplay. I've run a couple of side sessions. My son has his test character, the Wizard Spells, and he rolled up a fighter character named Swords to accompany. I've still got Grumble. In fact, at this point, I think I've got about 12 characters, not counting the one character, which was a third-party class that I tried out for fun and got run through in one of the solo adventures right quick and in a hurry. So I just sort of repurposed the character sheet. Erased the stats on it real quick and just made a simple halfling thief, but named him Lucky Day because I gave him the wanted background and had him on the run from the authorities and just happened to stumble in the tavern about the time the party was looking for a new recruit. But my son and my wife joined in last session. Has been running an old D&D module from the TSR days I had lying around. It was part of the one box set. I believe the module's called the Red Hand Trail. I haven't made it super far yet because I'm just running it using Shadow Dark conversions for the monsters, which obviously means the math is right back at that epic sort of level. There was this beautiful moment right in the first play session. It was a one-on-one session where my son was playing two characters and I was just running the game. And his torch was running out right about the time that he had accidentally spooked a couple of... I say a couple, it's several bats. I clumped them into two individual bats attacking and then one swarm, so it'd be a bit easier to run, just mechanically, and also a more manageable fight numerically, rather than throw 50 bats out there. That just seems like an exercise in futility for everyone in one of those cases where old school tabletop RPGs tell you, running is a valid option. Sometimes just surviving is victory in itself. But he had just finished fighting off some centipedes. The room has both, so it's going to get you one way or the other, and most likely both. And he took out the centipedes, but in such a way that it startled the bats. He's about to fight the bats, and at that moment the torch timer goes off. Now, I'm not merciless. I'm not heartless. Otherwise, the name would be vastly different. Merciless, Heartless, Old Guy Gaming would be the channel. So I gave him a round, and just in that moment, he sort of panicked, and he threw the torch at the bats, which was adorable and futile, and led to a character getting knocked out. So that was a fun little moment in that session. Okay, so the dude's brother is going to bore us to death with news of the keys, telling us to seek the silver key, which we already have. Only go in with a friend or thou shalt fail. So at least that was good. That was good advice. That's a nice little sort of safety net for players, letting them know, hey, you need to find the Prince of Canik unless you're super over-leveled. And they're right, the cave the silver key is in just has a ton of poison enemies, and having Orfeo with antidote was huge. We've now picked up 2 medical herbs on this session. That is a lovely, lovely thing. Got a babble and a couple of wild mice. Hit points we could deal with. It's the poison we want to avoid. So they've been kind of retreading the earlier chambers in the Red Hand Trail. We've only got a few sessions in, but that's one of the side adventures. And my wife and I started fleshing out more of the map as I've been drawing up the map on a hex grid, which I've also drawn up by hand myself, which is going to lead to another wonderful story here. Switch that around so Agog's hitting the Iron Ant for defense sake. I thought Orfeo may be able to one-shot the Drakey. I wasn't sure about the Iron Ant. Just the name seems like it's going to take a slightly harder whack. Now, where was I? I got distracted there. But as I'm sitting there and drawing out this campaign world, each section is going to serve as an expansion pack, as I've said in the past. I'm starting very much with just Shadow Dark Core, as it's a either relatively new or completely new system for my party. So far, my campaign is, 2 to 4 players strong most sessions. And the most experienced with the system are my son and wife, who have been playing it for as long as I've been bugging them to play. So I'm maybe a week ahead of them on it. It's still rather new for all of us. And starting with the core, it really sort of cuts down the number of options, sort of cuts away the extra stuff, and lets you sort of experience the game in its truest form. That said, I have gone all in on this. Already ordered the Unnatural Selection third-party supplement being put out by the Dungeon Damsel team. Also picked up digital copies of the first 3 Cursed Scrolls. So we've got a fair amount of material when we get there. Need to get up to Canik here and get a quick save down, and then we will try that cave. Didn't pick up a ton of experience on that trip, I just want to point out. So far I have 2 sections fully mapped out, and I have a 3rd section sort of conceptualized. I'm not running anything purely as written because that's never been my strength ever. 1, there's only so many details I can remember, and there's only so many notes I can take. 2, I'm moderately good at improvisation. I kind of rule of cool things a lot. I kind of like to work with amenable solutions that fit the situation, and a lot of times it's just in the moment, what sounds good, we'll run with that. Talk to the King of Canik Castle and have him tell me how awesome his boy is once more. but the first area is pretty traditional vanilla fantasy. The second area is going to take on a bit more of a classic feel. It's going to have some more classic RPG elements in it, and I've dubbed that the Southern Reaches, because the Southern Reaches can be abbreviated to the letters TSR, and that's my little old D&D nod. And this third area we were conceptualizing is going to, at least in part, hold some of the Cursed Scroll #1 material in it, the Diablerie one, which features the Witch and the Warlock, because I knew that was something she was really excited to try out, the Witch class, and just sort of expand on the variety of spells out there. But the party is due for a full session on Saturday. And it's going to be an interesting one because my wife already has 2 characters in this party. I should say in this campaign. I keep saying in the party, and it's something I'm sort of setting myself up for failure on in this. Because as I've mentioned before, this is an expansive world and it's all sort of happening at the same time. So people will have multiple characters, and those characters will be at multiple places. And what one party does will affect another. Let's let the guy know that we talked to his brother. Wow. Yes, we've been south of Mendenhall. Please say nothing of this. Okay, so the dude sent us all that way to learn about keys we already knew. And then he's like, oh, well, okay. Cool. Didn't even want to know how his brother was. What a jerk. 3 magicians. Look at Orfeo. 1-shot crit. Yeah, he's not quite strong enough to just body up on these magicians regularly. The bamboo stick. That is a useless weapon for us, but it is something we could sell. I think we're going to burn off some of these medical herbs, though. At least one. Get Agog's hit points back up there. We could have cast a spell, but the inventory's already getting a little congested. Okay, 1 ghost mask and 1 magician. Gonna try the southern route. See if we can make it to town, make it to safety here. Town is a long walk south. Got some army ants. We faced these in the last upload. I've enjoyed more of the playtesting sessions myself because A, it gives me a chance to roll on and play, and B, it lets me see more of the system at work. That said, I enjoy the heck out of running the game in an entirely different light because it's a more passive enjoyment for me where I just get to hang out with my friends and roll some dice and just entertain them a bit, so that's cool. Cenopods. These are strong. These have poison. We're going to fireball these. But as I said, my 2 former co-workers will be coming over this Saturday. And we'll be picking up where we left off there. Sort of like I am on this sentence. Right at the end of the Lottery of the Lost. And they are going to be going into character creation, making their characters officially level 1 crawlers. Sort of the name for adventurers, dungeon delvers, what have ya. Wow, Orpheus kind of getting it taken to him here. And Agog did not help us out there. And that did not help us either. Orfeo is now dead. I was perhaps a little greedy there, but I figured trying to stop and heal wasn't really going to do us a ton of good there. So as you see, Orfeo is now a ghost, and that is how he's going to remain until we either get to town or done die dead. Also, we have our lovely neon pink/red outlines. And there's town. We're almost there. Just gotta get through 4 big rats. I'm not sure we can run here. But I know we can fight. I'm interested in seeing how the characters are going to come out. It's already looking to be choices that make sense for the characters, but not how I would have initially pegged them. First thing we gotta do is find a healer, and then say goodbye to some of our cash. Not at the end, maybe up this way? Yeah, there's our healer. Little chapel right here. Says, welcome to the House of Healing. We need some revival. Let's revive Orfeo. That's 140 gold, and that's fair. It's a very delicate operation. Goes in with his fine surgical healing magic. Need anything else? No? And yeah, hey, let's be careful out there. Sure. Fucking enemies jumping up out of the bush to attack us. But yeah, let's be careful out there. Love that line. Let's go ahead and heal. As you can see, our neon red outlines have turned to a lovely shade of peach. And are now back to good old classic white. Considerably less money. Got a weapon shop and an item shop down there. Got a little shop locked behind a gold door, and because the game is not completely heartless, we can record our save here. Both characters dangerously close to leveling, which is good because I am not even close to done talking. So let's go ahead and venture back out and gain a bit more experience here. As I said in a couple conversations, as we've had a bit of a break here for the past couple weeks. Kara and Tara, the twin sisters, I think are going to end up being either a priest or a wizard. Knowing my wife, probably priest, simply due to tradition and the fact that amazingly, she hasn't rolled one up yet in Shadow Dark. So that's going to be a fun thing in and of itself. Let's have Orfeo cast Fireball here. We want this battle handled. Carl, the cabbage merchant, despite being a wealthy merchant, may have some untoward business practices hiding behind him, as in my discussions out of game, it seems that Carl's player is leaning towards the thief class. Not how I would have pegged it, but that does make sense for sociability. And they have mentioned specifically wanting to play more of a cowardly thief than like a cunning swashbuckler or a daring rogue. So I think that will be a fun take on it. And the urchin, who I would have guessed would have been like a brawler rogue style thief all day any day, may just go straight fighter. Which would be a fantastic boon for the party, as fighters have this unique ability to have extra gear slots in Shadow Dark, and it is slot-based inventory. In a game where treasure is experienced, that's huge. We'll have Agog attack the Cobra, and Orfeo fireball the Centipod. And there's our level up for Agog to 9. And now it's just about getting some money, because we should have some nice weaponry to pick up around here. After we're done sort of farming this area out a little bit, we'll head back in and talk to some of the townsfolk, and I think that'll wrap up the video. I'll try not to make it super long, as I've noticed these encroaching slightly longer every time out. Of course, another thing I've noticed that I can't thank you guys enough for is the positive feedback on these. Absolutely love that y'all are digging them, because I'm having a blast putting them out, just sort of getting to free think here and, nerd out about two different aspects of one of my favorite hobbies at once. Gaming is a passion of mine. I absolutely love it, and I really can't pick between tabletop gaming and video gaming. Love them both to death. The RPG genre, definitely one of my favorites, because it's more of a cerebral challenge than a physical one. My reflexes never the best, and as the years go on, they only get worse. So twitch and timing based games, not always the best for me. Rhythm games, occasionally. Sports games just aren't the draw they used to be. That just seems to be art imitating life, because I've noticed in, at least in my personal society, sports don't play the role they used to play. They're no longer that communal hub. But RPGs still hold that spot for me. They still have that importance. I think we risk the poison on this one. I really think I have to pay better attention to the hit points. Let's just Fireball a Magician. I know we have Stop Spell, but Fireball seems to solve the problem a bit more effectively. Oh damn, apparently a storm's rolling in. If you're catching that in the background, that's some thunder that I was not anticipating in any way, shape, or form. Weather here has been crazy. Pennsylvania March is always crazy. I should say that outright, because it's just a time of year where the temperature doesn't know what it's doing day to day. You could be in the 30s one day and 65 the next, and that's just been this kind of week. It's been high and low and just maddening at times. Once again, throwing caution to the wind here to take these magicians out. Agog using every last bit of that hit point buffer. We're back into 4 digits on gold. Wow, are we having the worst luck getting back to town? Let's have Agog fight the Magician. And let's Fireball a Centipod here just to get that out of the road. Agog missed the Magician. That is terribly disconcerting. Wow. I don't know why I expected this game to roll over the up direction, but I think I just kind of doomed us there on that one a little. Okay, have Agog fight the Cobra just to... Yep, Cobra's down, and so is Orfeo. And Agog's poisoned, so this is going to be a photo finish. Get through it. 156 gold, I'm not mad about that. Go ahead, use an antidote. So just when I got done saying we had amassed a little gold, just some poor timing and tile placement, and poor Orfeo has fallen again. But nothing we... nothing we can't undo here as I take a moment and actually hit the right person. Now, once they're done creating their characters, I've set up 2 hub towns. And the hub towns are Southport, just sort of my nod to the Pittsburgh colloquial accent, where South is spelled S-A-H-T-H. I made the town a bunch of little districts connected by bridges. And then there's New Haven, which may be one of the 5 most generic town names of all time. Right up there with Westford and High Branch and things like that. But I think this is the first time I've ever personally used a New Haven, even though there are a million of them, probably in both fantasy and real life. Got them fleshed out, and they're just going to serve as low-level hub areas, places to adventure out. There are going to be some adventure hooks, some rumors and whatnot, chances for them to go out and explore. But there's also going to be a bit of a hex crawl going as well. So even while they're out adventuring just for the sake of adventuring, there's a chance they run into an encounter or some NPCs. All of a sudden we've got to restock. Pick up an antidote. Nah, it should be good there. Now let's take a look at the weapons shop here in town. Okay. Chain sickle and an iron spear, a broadsword, which would be our next upgrade for Agog. We're probably looking at the iron spear at some point for Orfeo, and we've got chainmail and plate armor, and oh my, a 2,000 gold steel shield. Before I forget, let's go back to that tool shop and sell off that bamboo stick. I believe Orfeo got stuck with it. Yeah, we'll take 15 extra gold. Let's go around and talk to a couple NPCs. Says southwest of this village lies the castle of Moonbrook. If you've played this game before, or if you've been keeping up with the series, shameless plug there. The very first episode, the intro of this game, shows Moonbrook Castle being attacked. So we are close to where it all started as far as this game's story goes. Some say that there is a tall tower, and in a brave adventurer may find the Cloak of the Wind, which is a wonderful little plot hook there. Something that ties both aspects of this little chat we're having while gaming together, because finding magic items is one of the reasons you get adventurers to head out. Save thee if thou falls from a great height. Ghosts may wander this world under moon or sun, and at times they may even be recalled. Not sure why that's important, but okay. Here in Hamlin, not all is as it seems. Talk to everyone, for appearances may not reflect the true person. A cryptic clue. Do we have a lottery ticket? Nope. Some merchants do give them out for free. This dog just says woof woof, but if you notice, after we talk to them, they follow us around, which is a really cute little thing that is in no way, shape, or form foreshadowing a major plot event to be coming in an upcoming episode. Meantime, we're about 35 minutes deep. I think we'll call it here. Like I said, looking forward to next session where I could fill you in a bit more and look back on my notes on some of the side sessions and give you more of the highlights there. I do hope you enjoy this. I'm going to keep making these as long as I got steam and as long as people are interested in the listen. So thank you again for checking this out. This has been Grumpy Old Guy Gaming. Thank you for watching. As we take a look at our ever-increasing experience points to get to next level. You take care, and we'll see you around.